Hello viewers, welcome to Breaking News Update. The Middle East is once again on edge. Two high-profile assassinations have sent shockwaves through the region, threatening to ignite a broader conflict. Ismail Haniyeh, the political leader of Hamas, was killed in Tehran. The assassination came just hours after another targeted attack in Beirut claimed the life of Fuad Shukr, a top Hezbollah commander. The assassinations have heightened tensions between Israel, Iran, and their respective allies. Iran immediately blamed Israel for Haniyeh's death, further accusing the United States of complicity. The United States has denied any involvement. These killings come at a critical juncture. A fragile ceasefire between Israel and Hamas is already strained. The region is now bracing for the possibility of renewed violence. International leaders are urging restraint, but the situation remains highly volatile. The assassinations underscore the deep divisions and mistrust that plague the Middle East. They serve as a stark reminder of the challenges in achieving lasting peace and stability in the region. The first blow came in the early hours in Beirut. Fuad Shukr, a high-ranking military commander in Hezbollah, was killed in a targeted attack. The circumstances surrounding his death remain murky. However, Israel quickly confirmed its role in the operation, stating that Shukr was a legitimate military target. Hours later, news broke of another assassination, this time in Tehran. Ismail Haniyeh, the political leader of Hamas, was attending a ceremony in the Iranian capital when he was killed. Details of the attack are still emerging. The timing and location of the assassinations are significant. Haniyeh's presence in Tehran suggests a deepening alliance between Hamas and Iran. The attacks, occurring within a short span, point to a coordinated effort to eliminate key figures in the Iran-led resistance axis. These events have quickly escalated tensions in the region. They have also raised concerns about the potential for miscalculation and further violence. The international community reacted swiftly to the assassinations, expressing condemnation and urging restraint. The United Nations called for calm and de-escalation, warning that the killings could derail efforts to secure a lasting ceasefire between Israel and Hamas. The European Union echoed these concerns. It emphasized the need for dialogue and a peaceful resolution to the conflict. Several individual countries, including Russia and China, also voiced their concerns and called for all parties to avoid actions that could further inflame the situation. Despite these calls for restraint, the situation remains tense. The assassinations have inflamed passions on all sides. The coming days will be critical in determining whether the region can avert a wider conflict. Iran responded to the assassination of Ismail Haniyeh with fury. Ayatollah Ali Khamenei, Iran's supreme leader, directly accused Israel of orchestrating the killing. He went further, blaming the United States for its unwavering support of Israel, which he claimed enabled such actions. Khamenei vowed revenge for Haniyeh's death. He declared that those responsible would face severe consequences for their actions. Iran's foreign ministry summoned diplomats from several European countries to protest what it labeled as a criminal act of state terrorism. Iran's response highlights the volatile dynamics at play. The assassination has fueled anti-Israel sentiment in Iran and strengthened the resolve of hardliners within the government. This raises concerns that Iran might feel compelled to respond forcefully, potentially igniting a broader regional conflict. Section 5. Washington denies involvement, a delicate balancing act. The United States found itself in a difficult position following the assassinations. While Washington maintains a close alliance with Israel, it also recognizes the potential for these killings to destabilize the region. The U.S. quickly denied any involvement in the assassination of Haniyeh. Secretary of State Antony Blinken reiterated the U.S.'s commitment to Israel's security. However, he also stressed the need for de-escalation and a peaceful resolution to the Israeli-Palestinian conflict. Blinken urged all parties to exercise restraint and avoid actions that could further inflame the situation. The U.S. is walking a tightrope. It wants to maintain its strong partnership with Israel, while also preventing the current crisis from spiraling out of control. The coming days will test Washington's ability to navigate these competing pressures. Section 6. Haniyeh from refugee camp to Hamas leadership. Ismail Haniyeh's assassination represents a significant blow to Hamas. Haniyeh was more than just the political leader of the organization. He was a unifying figure who had risen from humble beginnings to become a symbol of Palestinian resistance. Born in a refugee camp in Gaza, Haniya witnessed firsthand the struggles of the Palestinian people. He rose through the ranks of Hamas, gaining a reputation for his charisma, pragmatism, and deep understanding of the Israeli-Palestinian conflict. Haniya was a complex figure. He was seen by some as a pragmatist who understood the need for dialogue. Others viewed him as a hardliner committed to the destruction of Israel. Regardless of these differing perceptions, his death leaves a void in Hamas's leadership. Section 7. A crumbling ceasefire, the impact on peace negotiations. The assassinations of Haniya and Shukr have dealt a severe blow to the already fragile ceasefire between Israel and Hamas. The killings have inflamed tensions and eroded trust between the two sides, making the resumption of peace talks extremely difficult. Haniya was a key figure in Hamas. He was seen by some as a voice of moderation within the organization, someone who could potentially guide the group toward a negotiated settlement. His assassination removes a crucial player from the peace process. The international community is deeply concerned about the potential for renewed violence. The ceasefire, while tenuous, had brought a much-needed respite from the fighting. The assassinations threatened to plunge the region back into a cycle of violence and retribution. The assassination of Fuad Shukr has also sent shockwaves through Lebanon, where Hezbollah wields significant political and military power. The group, which is designated as a terrorist organization by the United States and several other countries, has vowed to avenge Shukr's death. Hezbollah's leader, Hassan Nasrallah, delivered a fiery speech in the aftermath of the assassination. He declared that Israel had crossed a red line and would face severe consequences for its actions. Nasrallah's words have raised fears of a potential escalation of violence along the Israel-Lebanon border. Hezbollah possesses a formidable arsenal of rockets and missiles that can reach deep into Israeli territory. While the group has been relatively restrained in recent years, the assassination of Shukr could prompt a more forceful response. The assassinations of Haniya and Shukr have ignited anger and protests across the occupied West Bank. Palestinians view the killings as part of a broader Israeli campaign to suppress their aspirations for statehood and eliminate their leadership. Protests erupted in cities and towns across the West Bank, with demonstrators clashing with Israeli security forces. Palestinian factions including Hamas and Fatah called for a day of rage to denounce the assassinations. The assassinations have inflamed tensions in an already volatile environment. They have also fueled anti-Israel sentiment and strengthened support for armed resistance among Palestinians. The potential for further unrest and violence remains high. The assassinations of Haniya and Shukr have also raised concerns about potential spillover effects in Iraq. Iran-backed militias in Iraq have vowed to avenge the killings, raising the specter of renewed attacks on United States and Israeli interests in the country. Iraq has become a battleground for influence between the United States and Iran. Iran-backed militias have grown increasingly assertive in recent years, carrying out numerous attacks on United States targets. The assassinations of Haniya and Shukr have provided these groups with further ammunition and a pretext for escalating their attacks. The United States is in a difficult position in Iraq. It wants to maintain a presence in the country to counter Iranian influence and prevent the resurgence of ISIS. However, the assassinations have made this mission even more dangerous. The assassinations of Ismail Haniya and Fuad Shukr have pushed the Middle East to a dangerous precipice. The killings have inflamed tensions, deepened mistrust, and increased the risk of a wider regional conflict. The coming days and weeks will be critical in determining whether the region can step back from the brink. The international community has a crucial role to play in preventing further escalation. World leaders must urge restraint from all sides and work to restart dialogue between Israel, Hamas, and other key actors. The focus should be on de-escalating tensions, strengthening the ceasefire, and reviving the peace process. However, the path to peace in the Middle East remains treacherous and uncertain. The assassinations of Haniya and Shukr serve as a stark reminder of the fragility of peace and the ever-present threat of violence in this volatile region. The world watches with bated breath. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to our channel for latest update.